Bristol City are partying as they return to the Championship at the first time of asking about who's going to join them as Peterborough, of course, fluffed their lines. It's still got all to be played for in the last couple of games of the season, and we're going to bring in the next one right here, right now. Let's get into it. Back once again with another prediction show. Today we're taking a look at match number 45 in League One, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe and hit your bang out to all things are Blackburn Rovers related, League One related, World Football related. We're going to know here under one Rooski. That's right, boys and girls. Of course, it is quick fire draw to the end of the season. Of course, with a bumper match day coming at you. Of course, a full fixture list plus a bit of a Rooski bonus. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Of course, a big shout out to the VIPs. Who are they? I'm talking about the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your continued support behind the scenes. But anyway, let's get cracking and have a little look at, of course, we've got to bring you bang up today with the prediction league as well. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. But before then, let's take a look back at, of course, the games that just did take place. Bumper one here. Of course, lots of games, lots of goals, lots of drama, and of course, lots of ups and downs. So, well, we will get back up there. Get back up there. Anyway, let's get cracking. Of course, kicking all the way back to, of course, Saturday 24th of April. Portsmouth 1-0 winners over Bristol Rovers, who are now down. Ronan Curtis on the score sheet, giving Pompey the win. I actually remember the 2-1 win for Bristol Rovers. I thought they would make the great escape. Unfortunately, not good enough. Meanwhile, Blackpool against Shrewsbury. Of course, a bit of a fluffed line there by Blackpool. Matthew Pennington getting the goal for Shrewsbury in the 1-0 win for them. I actually remember the 2-0 win for Blackpool. Meanwhile, Charlton, they also fluffed their lines against Peterborough, who gave them a win. Of course, moved ever closer to, of course, the second tier of football. Johnson Clark-Harris on the goal score sheet for Peterborough in a 1-0 win for them. 2-1 win for Charlton for me. Meanwhile, Crewe against Rochdale, who just grinding out the results right now. Rochdale, of course, goal from Matt Dunn on the 97th minute. Charlie Kirk thought he'd won it in the 90th minute, but Matt Dunn, of course, levelled it in a 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, Doncaster against Fleetwood Town, and it was a 2-1 win for, 1-1 win for Fleetwood, 2-1 win for me. My picks on the left, the real deals on the right. Barry McKay on the score sheet, giving Fleetwood the win in a 1-0 win there. Meanwhile, Gillingham up against Northampton. Of course, it was a 2-2 draw in the end. Goals galore on that badger. Four goals in all. Goals coming from who were they? Vanden Oliver with a goal there. Ollie Lee as well. Ryan Edmondson and Fraser Horsfall giving, of course, the goals for each side there. Ipswich against Wimbledon was nothing to report there. 0-0 draw. Bore draw, you would say. Meanwhile, Lincoln City against Hull was 2-1 for Hull. Of course, that win sealed the bloody deal. They're back at the first time of asking. Josh McGuinness and Malik Wicks with an 83rd minute penalty. Lewis Montesma getting, of course, a goal there for Lincoln, but of course 2-1 win for me, 2-1 win final score, not too bad. Meanwhile, Milton Dons against Swindon was a 5-0 win for MK Dons. It might be too little too late for them. We'll take a look at the table in a minute. William Grigg with 4, Scott Fraser as well with a goal. William Grigg definitely on fire on that one. 2-1 win in favour of Milton Dons for me. Meanwhile, Oxford also keeping their noses clean, or keeping them in the race anyway, with a 3-1 win over Plymouth. Of course, that's right. Goals from Joe Edwards, Matty Taylor with a couple of goals there as well. Now Innes with one goal for, of course, Plymouth in the end. Sunderland, though, could not get past Accrington Stanley with another 3-3 draw. They're a bit of a bogey team for them. Charlie White with a couple of goals there. Max Power as well. Colby Bishop, Luke O'Neill, Big Fat OG, and Sean McGonavel giving the point split right down the middle. Meanwhile, Wigan against Burton end up all square 1-1 as Wigan try to keep on believing. Of course, Joe Powell on the score sheet for, of course, Burton. Will Keynes as well with a 1-1 draw for those badges. That was, of course, the games for the weekend. Kicking on further into the midweek matches. And, of course, Sunderland lost this one against Blackpool. Of course, a good response from Blackpool. Suleyai Kakai on the score sheet giving Blackpool the win in a 1-0 win for them. 2-2 for me. Actually, Stanley also forced the draw against Portsmouth on this one. 3-3. Colby Bishop, Cameron Burgess, and Josh McGuinness with a big fat OG. John McGuinness actually got a couple of goals there for Portsmouth, and Ryan Williams to make it 3-3 on that one. Actually went 2-0 win for Pompey on this one. Peterborough couldn't get over the line though against Doncaster. It was a 2-2 draw in the end. Goals for Joe Ward, Sammy Summerditch as well, for Fede Okabadi and Taylor Rogers on the score sheet with Doncaster in the 2-2 draw. I want the 2-0 win myself. Meanwhile, Shrewsbury against Lincoln ended up as a 1-0 win for Lincoln as they keep up their hope for a gate-crashing top two party. George A. Grant on score sheet giving Lincoln City the win. Actually went with a 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, Wimbledon against Rochdale again. Rochdale keeping on grinding on with a 3-3 draw in the end. Jake Beasley, Gabriel Osho, and Jimmy Cahone on the score sheet for, of course, Rochdale. Jack Rondini, Ollie Palmer, and, of course, Joe Piggott on the score sheet for Wimbledon in a 3-3 draw. Burton, though, smashed past Fleetwood Town with a 5-2 win over Fleetwood. Lucas Atkins, Joe Powell, Thomas Hayner, Kane Hammings with a couple of goals there. Sam Finney and Jordan Rossiter getting on the goal score sheet for Fleetwood. And Charlton against Crewe end up all square on that one, 2-2 in the end. Goals for Jaden Stockley, Alex Gibley and Owen Dale with a brace for Crewe. Alexandra, of course, that was the brings you bang up to date with the games. Let's take a look at, of course, the prediction leagues. Now we're going to go back a little bit here. Thinking about that midway through the month of April. Of course, Ollie Army with his picks did all right. What's this guy? Latham Plays also did good. Escobar not too bad. Of course, Alfie Skilton did shite. Anna also did okay. AJ24 not too bad. Of course, Peterborough TV also did good as well. Transfer Sandham not too bad. Iron Stringer did bits. Yanni Basson not too bad. Leeds Winter also did very well. And of course, Gaming Charlie not too bad either. Ferris 77. Alfie Skilton also did good. James PCFC are great. I think there's Alfie Skilton ones I did add up, so I believe I added up. We'll find that out in a minute. SCFC Janko also did great. Okay, we'll get you in a minute. Russell Frost also did very well. Jacob also did very well indeed. Look at that, kicking ass and taking names. Osha Unmira, well done to you. Of course, Shadow Ninja also did poop. Ojo also did shite. Of course, okay did okay. And of course, Vincent Long did bits. How about the leaderboard for this week and this week alone? Let's have a look. Alfie Skilton got 5. I think that's correct. And yes, of course, Jacob Jackson kicking ass and taking names. Look at that. Look at that, kicking ass at the top of the table, boys and girls. What's that done to the table? We'll have a look at the grand scheme of things in a minute. Meanwhile, the next round of matches were, of course, right here, right now. Let's take a look at that. Then Harrison Crane did shite. Peterborough Fantasy TV also did good. Yeah, Yanni Bussell also did poop. Iron Stringer did bits. Of course, Chris Hayne also did shocker. James PCFC, oh, great. You did a good. Game Shine, not too bad either. Oliver Army did shite. Of course, Aaron Wren also did great. AJ24, not too bad. Of course, Jonathan Sannon also did very, very well. Of poop. As for Leeds 21, did shocking. Of course, Russell Frost also did very, very well indeed. Vincent Hong also did bits of poop. Okay, did do okay. Omar Escoville also did very, very well. STFC Chenko also did bits. First Step 7 also did shite. Of course, Ultra Omri also did very, very well. And Yoki Jackson also did bitty poopity. What about the leaderboard for this week? If your name is okay, don't even look at it. Frosty's up there with, of course, 4. James PCFC are great year, and Omar Escoville are your kingpins for that week and that week alone. Kicking on further though into the final week, of course, which is the one that's just gone on. Chris Hayne did great, of course. Anna Ran also did good. Okay, did okay. Of course, Game Charity did very, very poo. Oliver Arias did shocking, of course. Russell Frost did very well on that one. James PCFC are great. You did poop. AJ24 not too bad either. Meanwhile, Leeds 21 also did shite. OJ24 also did good. Omar Escoville not too bad, of course, and STFC Janko. That's for Omar, that one. STFC Janko also did very, very well. 47 not too bad, of course. Yanni Buster did bits, and Shadow Ninja also did good, and Vincent not too bad either. Jonathan Sandham did alright, of course. Ultra Omiro absolutely smashed it, of course, and Peterborough Fan TV also did good, and Jacob Jackson also did very, very well. What's that done to this league, this week's table? Of course, Leeds 21. I've got Oliver Army, don't even look at it. But if your name is Ultra Omiro, take a bloody bow. Look at that, kicking ass and taking names with a 10-piece in the end. But what's that done to the overall table? Well, I'll let you in now. We're in a bit of a race on this one. Maybe, of course, it's still got a little bit of work left. Two full match days ahead, so that is 24 points on the offering, plus a little bit of Brucey bonuses in there, maybe 30 points on the offering. And then I just did the League 2 video. I forgot about the playoffs, so that's another 1, 2, 4, 5 points available with the playoffs. So we're not home and hosed just yet, but we're looking around about 40 points is probably what's on the offering still, give or take. So realistically, you're looking at a top 7 race here, and then the rest are out of it. Okay, you're toast, mate. You're toast. So any one of these guys could win it, but realistically, it looks like it is a 2-horse race. Russell Frost just has to have a couple of stinkers really to liven it up, or if he plays his game, he should do all right. This is the table as it stands. Of course, Hull City are there. Of course, Peterborough are just a whisker away. Mathematically could be caught, I believe. Of course, Lincoln City, if they win their game in hand, they could go to 78 points, which of course would be 5 points adrift of Peterborough. Of course, I don't know what the run-in is like for these guys. We'll take a look at the next round of matches, of course, as well. Blackpool also got a game in hand. Win that, they could go to 74 points. I think that's just a bit too far. 74, 77. Yeah, they're a little too far gone. Meanwhile, the race for the playoffs. So let's take a look at that then. Of course, we're looking at, of course, Portsmouth are in there on the moment. Oxford are chomping on the bit right there to get into it. Of course, they've still got an outside chance as well. Charlton as well. Milton Keynes Dons, they could still mathematically do it. So could Gillingham, and so could Accrington Stanley as well. Ipswich have a game in hand. If they win that, they could go up to 65 points. It is probably 60. Oh my god, it's still a mind-bogglingly wide open. You could go all the way down to Doncaster, I think, at 13th spot. They still have an outside shot of the playoffs, but of course they've got to win their game in hand. So let's take a look at, of course, down the foot of the table. Of course, Bristol Rovers are down. Swindon not too far away either. Northampton are also in the mix, as well as are Rochdale, and Wigan are not home and hosed just yet. Wimbledon looks just about safe. But those three teams, Wimbledon, Wigan, and Rochdale, are all kicking ass and taking names right now. They're on a good bit of form, and I think it's going to be a toss up really, depending on what Rochdale's last two games. We'll take a look at those in a minute. In fact, we can have a quick look at it right now. We can take on Hull, which is not very, very good for them. As for Rochdale, they take on Doncaster, which could be a blessing in disguise. Anyways, kicking on forward, then take a look at the Accrington Stanley up against Charlton. Of course, played the last three. Of course, it's been 1 win apiece and 1 draw. Last round in, of course, Accrington was a 1-1 draw back in August 2018. Goal scorers Jordan Clark on the Scottish Colin Grant as well. They also played this season down the valley. Of course, there's a 2-0 win for Accrington back in, of course, January 2021. Charlton have actually won the last 3 away matches in League One. Accrington, they've scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches as well. Heading into this, though, Charlton come into this just 1 defeat the past 6 games, 1 defeat because of Peterborough. Meanwhile, what are we looking at here? Accrington come into this just 1 win the past 6 games for them. That one was against Doncaster, of course. Quite a few draws knocking around. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one. Give me a minute on this badger. Of course, bookies odds 5-2 for the hosts. 13-5 is draw. 20-20 is your Charlton. Charlton come to this, of course, on the outskirts, of course, for the playoffs. But a win for them, they can move up to 6, of course, which is what they're after. Actually, they're in 11th. With them, they can move also up to as high as 9th, and of course, maybe making a late push. Is it too little, too late for Accrington? It is too little, too late for Accrington. I think they'll need a goal swing for them to get into it. I've gone with a 2-2 draw on this one, which will end it for Accrington and probably dent Charlton's hopes big time. Meanwhile, Wimbledon up against, of course, Pompey. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, place of the last 6, 2 for Wimbledon, 4 for Pompey, no draws. Last round at Wimbledon was a 1-0 win for Wimbledon back in, of course, October 2019. Terrell Thomas on the score sheet, giving Wimbledon the win on the 93rd minute. Meanwhile, they played at Fratton Park back in January this season, of course, 4-0 win for Pompey. Wimbledon, though, scored at least 2 goals in the last 4 home matches. They're also undefeated in the last 6 matches as well, as they try to hang on to their League One status. They come to this on the back of 2 draws, though. Meanwhile, Pompey just 1 win in the past 6 games. Their 1 was against Bristol Rovers. Of course, Pompey are trying to stay in that top 6. A win for Wimbledon, a 5-2 for the Richard Even Stevens is your Pompey, 5-2 is your draw. Wimbledon down in, of course, 19 for the win. They are safe. I think they're mathematically safe. They need something crazy to go on to get sucked into that relegation mile. So it might be a blessing in disguise for Portsmouth on this one. But a win for Pompey, they could go up as high as 5th in the table. I've gone with the 2 win for Wimbledon. They've got the bit between the teeth, and again, that could dent Pompey's top 6 house. Me and Bristol Rovers are down up against Crewe, Alexandra. Of course, played to the last 6. Nothing for Bristol Rovers, 3 for Crewe and 3 draws. Last round at Bristol was a 5-2 win for Crewe back in League 2. That was back in December 2011. Of course, AJ Litch on the score sheet with Kieran Bolger, the big fat OG, Nick Powell with a brace, and David Artell as well. Matt Arrold and Scott McLeish on the score sheet for Bristol Rovers back in the day. They also played this season in Crewe was a 3-2 win for Crewe back in January. Bristol Rovers have actually lost 8 of the last 10 matches in League 1. They also failed to score in the 5 of the last 6 home matches as well, heading into this. 3 defeats on the spin for Bristol Rovers. Of course, Crewe just 1 win in the past 6 games, and 1 win was against Fleetwood. Of course, heading into this, of course, Bristol Rovers 17-10 for the Richie, 6-4 is your Crewe, 5-2 is your draw. Of course, Bristol Rovers are down. They are completely out of it. As for Crewe, they've got no hope really of anything to end the season with. They're just positioning in the table. They're safe as houses. So this one might be a bit of a damp squib, but I'm going with Crewe on this one. 2-1 win, maybe Pickering with a hat-trick in the end. And a win for Crewe, though. They could go up as high as 10th again, too little, too late. Meanwhile, Burton Albion again, safe as houses up against Gillingham. Of course, played to the last 6, 3 for Burton, 2 for Gillingham, 1 draw. Gillingham got an outside shot of playoffs, of course. Played to the last round at Burton was a 0-0 draw back in February 2020. Of course, the played to this season at Priestfields, of course, was a 1-0 win for Burton with Hayden Carter on the score sheet. Of course, Rover on loan. Heading into this, though, Burton just 1 defeat the past 6 games. That 1 defeat was against Lincoln. Meanwhile, Gillingham just 1 win in the past 5 for them. 1 was against Peterborough a couple of games back. Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? Burton 11-8 for the victory, 5-2 is your draw. 9-5 is your Gillingham. Gillingham are in 10th, and win for them, they can move up to 9th. It's an outside stretch for them. They need to win it and hope Pompey lose, and in my eyes, they will lose. So there is an outside shot that they could sneak in it, but of course they need a little bit of luck elsewhere in the table. As for Burton, they're down, and of course into 16th, but win for them, they can move up to 15th. A tremendous turnaround for Burton. 1 more draw in the end, again killing Gillingham's hope for of course playoffs, and of course Burton moving the chains. Next, of course, Fleetwood Town up against Milton Keynes Dons, who are on fire at the moment. They're up to 9th right now, winning 3 on the spin. Played to the last 6, 2 wins for Fleetwood, 3 for MK Dons, and 1 draw. Last round at Fleetwood was a 1-0 win for Fleetwood back in October 2019. Tread Evans on the score sheet, of course, now at Preston. They also played this season at the Stadium MK, of course, 3-1 win for MK Dons back in Jan. Joe Mason with a hat-trick, Sam Finley as well. Heading into this, MK Dons have actually kept clean sheet in 5 of the last 7 matches. That is because of Andy Fisher between the sticks. MK Dons, though, have actually won the last 3 matches as well. Heading into this, 3 wins on the spin for MK Dons, just 1 win in the past 4 games, though. there for Fleetwood. That was against Doncaster a couple of games back. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one. Fleetwood coming to this 17-10 for 37-5 is your MK Dons, 13-5 is your draw. MK Dons are in 9th. The win for them, they can move up to 8th. They have a good chance if they can get the points, a little bit of luck going their way. As for their opposition, Fleetwood Town, they're down to 15th, and with them they can move up to 12th in the table. I'm gone with the 2-1 for MK Dons. Move the chains, of course. Hull up against Wigan, of course. Hull are partying. They want to become champions, of course. I think are they champions already? No, they're not champions already, of course. Anyway, taking on Wigan, of course. Place of the last 6 2 for Hull, 3 for Wigan, 1 draw. Last time around at Hull was a 2-2 draw back in September 2019. Jaden Barrett, Jared Bowen on the Scottish Cameron Gasicki as well. Che Dunkley, of course. Joe Gerhardt getting on goals for Wigan. Also a pleasure of this season at Wigan. It was a 5-0 win for Hull. A bit of a revenge one on that one. Of course, Wigan smashing them 8-0 last round in the Championship. Hull are undefeated in the last 13 matches in League One. Wigan also undefeated in the last 5 matches as well in League One. They come into this though, Wigan unbeaten in the last 5, picking up 4 wins and a draw to boot. Meanwhile, Hull unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 5 wins and a draw to boot. That's at the very least. 5-3 on for Hull, 11-4 is your draw, 5-1 is your Hull. Wigan. Wigan are actually in 20th at the moment. A win for them, they can move up to 19th. And a win will probably give them safety. As for Hull, they are top and they'll be top if they get a point or more. I'm going with a win for Wigan on this one, grinding out the results. Hull, you know what? I think Hull might snatch this one. They might want to do the dirty on Wigan because of that 8-0 demolition. They still got a bit of angst, I think, on that one. Even though they got a bit of a revenge with the 5-0 win last time, but I still think Hull might do a little bit of dirty on them and turn on the flare because they want to become champions, of course. Anyway, heading into this Northampton up against Blackpool next. Of course, place of the last 6, 2 for Northampton, 3 for Blackpool, 1 draw last round. Northampton was back in October 2017. Sam Hoskins on the score sheet for the Northants. Also, picture of this season at Bloomfield Road as a 2-0 win for Blackpool. Of course, back in February. Heading into this though, Blackpool 2 wins and 2 defeats of the past 4 games. As for Northampton, just 1 defeat past 4 games for them. Then 1 defeat was against Peterborough a couple of games back. Meanwhile, of course, the bookies odds on this one. What have we got that one up there? Of course, Northampton coming to this 12-5 for the Rich 11-10 is your Blackpool, 5-2 is your draw. Of course, the Tangerines are 5th in a win for them. They can move up to 4th. As for Northampton, they're in 22nd and they need this to, of course, stave the drop. I've gone with a 1-0 win though for Blackpool on this one, but a win for Blackpool, they could go as high as 4th in the table. Meanwhile, Peterborough up against Lincoln City. This one's fruity, of course. Peterborough need the win or need the point at least. What do they need? They are what? Oh, it depends on what goes on midweek. Lincoln, goodness gracious me, this is it. It's a straight shootout here. Of course, if Lincoln win this one, that'll be 78 points. It all depends what's going on. Oh, this is a fruity one. Page on the last 6, of course, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws last time around, of course. At Peterborough was a 2-0 win for Peterborough back in October 2019. Lewis Reed and Ivan Turner on Scottish back in the day. Lewis Reed got himself sent off as well. Meanwhile, they also picture this is at Lincoln was a 1-1 draw back in January. Of course, heading into this, what are we looking at this now here? Peterborough undefeated in 34 last 38 home matches in League One. Lincoln City have actually kept a clean sheet in the last 3 away matches as well. Also won those last 3 away matches. Lincoln City coming to this 1 defeated past 6 games here. Of course, that 1 defeat was against Hull. Meanwhile, 1 defeat past 6 also for Peterborough. That was against Gillingham as well. 2 teams in a good bit of form. As for the bookies odds on this one, we have Peterborough coming to this 2019 on for the victory. 35 is draw. 11-4 is your Lincoln. Lincoln need to win this one, win or bust if they want to get to automatics or at least get back into conversation as well. Peterborough though, a draw will do it. A draw will see them over the line. Of course, get them into the league, the championship, of course, for next season. I've gone with a win on this one for Peterborough to get over the line. Home and hose. Lincoln City will probably have to settle for the playoffs as well. Meanwhile, Plymouth up against, of course, Sunderland. Of course, at down south west on this badge. Of course, played the last 6 2s for Plymouth, 4 for Sunderland, no draws last time around at Plymouth. Was a 2-0 win for Sunderland back in November 2018. Eddie McGeady with a brace back in the day. Also, the pleasure this season out, of course, the Stadium Night was 2-1 win for Plymouth. Adam Lewis, Joe Edwards, and of course, Aidan O'Brien on the score sheet for Sunderland. Sunderland have failed to win the last 7 matches in League One, whereas Plymouth actually failed to win the last 5 coming into this. Sunderland looking pretty wobbly at the moment. 4 defeats in the past 6 games, couple of draws in that. Meanwhile, 5 games without a win for Plymouth in all competitions as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one. It looks like Sunderland will be your favourites. Plymouth 90-4 for the Rich, 74 on is your Sunderland, 3-1 is your draw. Sunderland, of course, are in 4th. Win for them, they could go 3rd. As for Plymouth, they're down in, of course, 18th. And win for them, they can move up to 16th in the end. I've got with a 2-1 for Sunderland. They'll get the 3 points, but I think it's too late for the automatics indeed. Meanwhile, Rochdale up against Doncaster. Rovers, of course, played the last 6. 1 for Rochdale, 3 for Doncaster, 2 draws last round. At Spotlands was a 1 more draw back in August 2019. Aaron Morley on Scottish Kieran Sadler as well as points were split split right down the middle. They also finished at the Keep Moat back in, of course, January this season as one with Doncaster. Rochdale winning the last 3 home matches in League One. Doncaster failed to win 12 of the last 13 matches in League One as well. Heading into this one win, though, the past 6 games for Doncaster, that was against Shrewsbury. Meanwhile, Rochdale unbeaten in the last 5 games. Can they do it? Can they do the great mistake themselves? 2019 on is your Rochdale, 11-4 is your draw, 13-5 is your Doncaster. Doncaster still mathematically have a chance over the players. They need to win this one, of course, win the next one. They need to win all 3. But the form they're in, I don't think it's going to be happening. But a win for them, they could go up as high as 9th. As for Rochdale in 21st, they need to win. They need to win this one. Of course, they're 4 points adrift of Wigan at the moment. They need to win there, and they need a little bit of luck going against Wigan in the end. Going with Rochdale, this one giving them a bit of hope. But I think Wigan might just snatch it in the end. In fact, they could also catch Wimbledon as well. So there's still an outside shot on that one. Anyway, kicking on forward, we have Shrewsbury up against Oxford United. Played the last 6, 1 for Shrewsbury, 4 for Oxford, and 1 draw. Last round at Shrewsbury was a 3-2 win for Oxford back in March 2020. Daniel Udo, Callum Lang as well on the score sheet. Josh Feather got himself sent off for Shrewsbury. Marcus Brown, Daniel Agaye, and Josh Ruffles on the score sheet for Oxford in a 3-2 win. They also played this season at the Kazam as a 4-1 win back in April. Shrewsbury have lost the last 3 home matches heading into this. Oxford, they're winning 4 of the past 5 games. Their own hiccup was a defeat to Wimbledon. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 6 games for Shrewsbury. That was against Blackpool a couple of games back. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one. Shrewsbury 40-5 for the Richie, 25 draw. 2019 is your Oxford. Oxford are in 7th, and win for them they can move up to as high as 5th. As for their opposition, they are Shrewsbury. They're down to 17th right now, and win for them they can move up to 16th. 2-1 for Oxford on this one. Take the 3 points and move the chains. Swindon up against Ipswich now. Let's get into this one now, shall we? Played the last 3, 1 for Swindon, 2 for Ipswich, and no draws. Last round at Swindon was a 4-1 win for Ipswich back in the Championship in 1999. That was long ago. I don't even have the scorers on this one. Ipswich failed to score the last 6 matches in League One. Swindon have also lost 6 of the last 7 matches as well in League One. Heading into this, just 1 win the past 6 games for Swindon. That was against Portsmouth. Meanwhile, without a win in 6, that's Ipswich, who look a little bit lost at sea with Cook at charge at the moment. Meanwhile, Swindon coming to this on the with the odds 70-10, 37-5 is your Ipswich, 13-5 is your draw. Ipswich in 12th right now, and win for them they can move up to 9th. As for their opposition, Swindon, they look like they're going down. I think they are down already. Too little, too late. But a win for them, they could close it in on 22nd spot. I think Ipswich will not get this one. Swindon will get it. As Ipswich I think they're resigned to another season in League One. Charlton up against Lincoln City. This is the midweek games now. Of course, Charlton looking for playoffs as well. The last encounter between two sides was, of course, back in September 2020 at Lincoln. It was a 2-win for Lincoln with Motsama and Grant on the score sheet. Heading into this, though, of course, Charlton just without a win in 2 now, or 1 win in 4 for them. Lincoln City 4 wins the past 5 games as well, not including the weekend's action. I don't have bookies odds on this one, but of course, two wins on the horizon potentially for Charlton. If they win both of them, they could go from 8th all the way up to 73, up to 4th in the table. Meanwhile, Lincoln, of course, 6 points on the agenda for them. If they win both of those, they could go up to 81 points, and of course leave a bit of a tasty encounter at the end of the season to try and snatch it from for Peterborough in the end. I've gone with Charlton on this one, 2 to win, but unfortunately that's not going to be good enough for Lincoln City. Meanwhile, Blackpool up against Doncaster, of course, played the last 6 2 for Blackpool, 3 for Doncaster, 1 draw. Last round at Blackpool was a 1-1 draw back in March 2019. Also this season at the Keepmoat was a 3-2 win for Doncaster back in the day. Of course, 6 points on the agenda for Blackpool. If they win both of those, they could go up to 77 points, which could be a precise 3rd. As for the opposition, Doncaster 6 points on the agenda for them. Win both of those, they could go up as high as 67 points, which could be 8th in the table. But I think the Blackpool boys will nick this one with a 2-1 win to make it back-to-back wins of this coming weekend. Finally, it'll be Shrewsbury Town up against Ipswich Town, of course. Played the last 3. 3 wins out of 3 for Ipswich over Shrewsbury, including a win last round in Shrewsbury in the Carabao Cup back in 2009. It was a 3-3 draw, must have gone through on penalties or aggregate or something like that. They also played this season at Portsmouth was a 2-1 win back in November. Ipswich have failed to score in the last 6 matches in League One. 6 points on the agenda for Ipswich. Win both of those, they could go as high as 68 points, which will be on the curtails of course, the playoffs with 1 game left. As for the opposition, Shrewsbury, 6 points on the agenda. Win both of those, they could go as high as 15th in the table. I think Ipswich will get a point out of this one, which will make it 2, I think, for the week. No, just the 1 point for them in the end. And that, my friends, is what I've got for you. It is going to be a mad old end to the season. Who's got it left in the tank to get into the automatics? Who will be, of course, make it into the playoffs, and who will avoid relegation? All those to be decided probably in the next match or next prediction. Until then, though, be sure to give the video some love and smash the old thumbs up, smash the old subscribe. We'll do it all again better soon. Check out the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. That's the best place to do it. Until then, though, I'll see you all for the next one.